Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the CTO of Block.one, Dan Larimer.
Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Is this okay? There we go. Welcome, everybody. I am so excited to see all you people here today. This is going to be one of the best hackathons ever. So, without any further delay, I'd like to welcome our MC, Brian Collins.
Good morning! San Francisco, how are we feeling today? Oh, San Francisco. Oh, it's good to be back. It's good to be home. This series has been all over the world. We started in Hong Kong back in June. We went to Sydney. We went to London. And now, for the last event, we're here in San Francisco. Give yourselves a round of applause for making it out. Welcome, EOS Nation, welcome. We're so excited to have you here. Let me hear from you if this is your first EOS Hackathon. Let me quickly hear. Yeah! You heard, you saw. Let me hear from you more importantly. Is this your second EOS Hackathon? Is it your third EOS Hackathon? Has anybody been to all 4 EOS Hackathons? Yeah! Well done. That just shows you what we're trying to do here. That just shows you how excited this community is, and that just shows you what we're trying to accomplish. Folks, with that, let's jump right into it. Whether this is your very first event or you've been here before, the EOS Global Hackathon Series is a first-of-its-kind event in the world of blockchain that serves Block.one's goal of supporting decentralized global community from the ground up. We're going to walk you through the entire event. We're going to walk you through the schedule. We're going to walk you through who the judges are. We're going to walk you through judging criteria. And most important of all, at the end of all this, we're going to release that challenge you guys have been waiting for. With that, there's a couple of things I want you guys to know right from the beginning. Rule number 1, teams of up to 5 are allowed. You may not have a team of 1. So that means you can have a team of 2, of 3, of 4, or of 5. No more, no less. Rule number 2, you're going to be doing 2 rounds of pitches if you're lucky enough to be one of our top 10 finalists. We'll talk more about that later. But no matter what your pitching round is, you're going to have 3 minutes to pitch, 2 minutes for questions, both round 1 and round 2. 3 minutes to pitch, 2 minutes for questions. Rule number 3, projects will be submitted on Unoodle. Now, there's something very important I want to talk about. Submission time is tomorrow at 1 p.m. But you can submit at any time. Check the Unoodle. Do your research. There is no code submission that happens. All we need is a GitHub repo link or where your repo is being stored. As long as that link doesn't change, you can and should submit even at the end of the day today or first thing tomorrow, because that 1 p.m. is a hard cutoff. If you and your team are having an issue on Unoodle and you're trying to get it through in the last 15 minutes and you can't find us because we're running around prepping for the first round of judging, you're not going to make it into the first round of judging. If you are trying to submit after 1 p.m., it will automatically block you out, and that is one of our rules. Submit early on Unoodle. I promise it's going to make all the difference. This is a fresh code hackathon. That means that we want you guys just working and coding once we hit the 11 a.m. time and the coding can officially begin. Now, what exactly does that mean? If you have questions on this, you can talk to the mentors, specifically Serge and Jay, or you can come talk to myself or an Angel Hack member. But essentially what it means is this. You may include open source repositories and libraries, as long as you are not the main contributor to that program. If you think there's a gray area in there that you'd like to ask us about, please come find us. But that's the general rule of thumb. Other than that, no coding had begun before 11 a.m. today, and it can't continue past 1 p.m. tomorrow. And that's because, as one additional portion, the winning teams will be subject to a code review after the hack. We may announce some amazing teams up here, but you're not getting your prize money until you go through our code reviewers, who are very, very good. So keep that in mind. This is a fresh code enforced rule, and a code review will take place during the actual, after the event happens. Those are really the only rules. Let's talk about the schedule. This schedule is posted everywhere. I'm not going to go over the whole thing. I want to hit a couple of key points. Part 1, opening ceremony. Congratulations, you already got one thing done. Give it up for yourselves. Checklists are important in the beginning of the day, folks. It's early. We're all tired. Breakout sessions will begin right here in this room at midnight. All breakout sessions, the 3 breakout sessions during the afternoon, the pitch workshop at night, all breakout sessions will take place right here. So make sure, no matter where you are in that fantastic venue and building, that you're making sure to come back up in here for the actual breakout sessions. They start at noon, then 1, then 2 p.m. The pitch workshop is going to be at 8 p.m. The pitch workshop is absolutely something that you should send whomever from your team is planning on pitching. We're going to go over how to make the best possible pitch in 3 minutes. The next thing that I want to hit, and of course, you're going to have breakfast, you're going to have lunch, you're going to have dinner, you're going to have a midnight snack, you're going to have breakfast tomorrow, you're going to have lunch tomorrow, and a happy hour at the end. We got you guys. We're going to take care of you, okay? The next thing that I want to flag is 9 a.m. on Sunday, the pitch practice. This is very important. So the pitch workshop is going to be a workshop, a group. Pitch practice, you're going to have a chance to work with all the different entrepreneur mentors that we have here, and you're going to be able to pitch directly to them in a one-on-one setting. Every single winning team from the past hackathons, with one exception, went to the pitch practice session on Sunday. I highly, highly suggest it. The submission deadline, once again, is at 1 p.m. UNoodle closes. You will not be able to submit past 1 p.m. No exceptions. Because at 2 p.m., we begin the round 1 judging. Round 1 judging will be in here. We're going to be calling you up by floor. Okay? So you've all been in the venue. You know there's the main floor. That's the floor you all walked in on for registration. There's the top floor, which is the top floor. And there's the bottom floor, which is if you went down the stairs from the main floor. We're going to be calling you in floor by floor for the first round of judging. So listen, and if mentors and Angel Hack staff are going to be saying, hey, start moving, definitely start to move. That's going to be the first round of judging. At 4 p.m., you got friends, family, people who want to come in for spectator tickets. Great. They can start to arrive at 4 p.m., and they're going to come in here to watch the final pitches and the demos. At 4:30, we're going to start the closing ceremony. We're going to take the top 10 teams from the first round of judging, and they're going to join me up on this absolutely beautiful stage to go and pitch. If you want to know how that's going to work, come to the pitch workshop tonight. I'm going to walk you guys through it. We'll even do a little walkthrough up here as well. Finally, around 6:15 or so, we will announce the winners, the last of our winners for this EOS Grand Finale. And then no matter what, whether you won or lost, whether you got so close but victory was snapped out of your hands, you can join us right back in the venue for the happy hour and drinks. Ladies and gentlemen, does this sound like a fun time or what? Let's talk about the prizes. There's 6 different prizes, but there's actually one I want to talk to you about. Mentors, let me hear from you. You have an army of mentors, over 70 different mentors who are going to be working with you guys. They're spread between every floor. They're spread between skill sets. But also, there's a most valuable mentor prize for them. If you like the mentor you're working with, there's going to be a forum that's going to go into a Slack a little bit later. Please do us the favor. Rate your mentors. Let us know who's the best, because one of them is going to be given the most valuable mentor prize. They're excited about it. Please do us a favor. That's going to be the first of our prizes. After that, it's all switched back on you. All of these are going to be focused on the attendees for 6 different prizes. There's 3 superlative prizes at $3,000 each. The best social media post will go to one individual, the person whose account that came from. It can be a Twitter post. It can be Instagram. It can be YouTube. Doesn't matter. Just make sure you're using the hashtag. What's the hashtag? It's the giant thing that was in front of me or behind me while you guys were all walking in. So it's also going to be all over the space. If you're really confused, check the website, but it's all there. Make sure you use that hashtag. The social media team from Block.one will be picking their favorite post, and that's the post that's going to make it get $3,000 for that post. Number 2 is best UX design. In UNoodle, there is an option to submit a UX UI document. You can also submit that you'd like to go after this prize. You don't have to, but just know for all the superlative prizes, including best social good, it is possible to win multiple prizes. So don't think that you're going after best UX disqualifies you from the first, second, or third place. That's not the case. You can win multiple prizes. It is actually possible. It hasn't happened, but it's possible that you could win best social media post, best UX design, greatest social impact, and $100,000. Hasn't happened yet, but it is possible. $3,000 for the best UX design. That's really you thinking about the user from the very beginning. And then finally, greatest social impact. If you've decided to take your focus, your hack, and really put it on the greatest social impact, we're going to award you $3,000. Each of those prizes, $3,000. But let's talk about the big ones. First, second, and third. Third place, $10,000 plus travel to the EOS Grand Finale, which we have announced is in Cape Town, South Africa. Second place, $25,000 and travel to the EOS Grand Finale in Cape Town, South Africa. And first place for this event, $100,000 and a trip to the EOS Grand Finale in Cape Town, South Africa, where if you were invited to that event, the overall prize there is $500,000 for the winning team. $100,000 here, $500,000 there. That's not a bad month's work. How do you get there? Judging criteria. This is what both the round 1 and round 2 judges will be looking at and scoring you off of. Each of these are worth 5 points, which means you can have a total of 20 points. What are they? Utilization of EOSIO blockchain technology. There's a couple of pieces to this I really want to hit. One is, did you integrate an EOSIO smart contract? If you didn't, you're not eligible for anything. You missed the point of the hackathon. Utilization of EOSIO blockchain technology. That's the focus for this. And we have to make sure you included a smart contract. In addition to that, the concepts here and what they're really going to be judging you on are how well suited is this to the technology. For example, if you used a token, does it make sense that you have a token? Is it actually needed as a token? Or did you really not need it? Or are you just including it to have fun? These are the types of things that we want to be looking at to make sure that this makes sense for the technology. Number 2, creativity. How out of the box is this solution? Is this something that we've seen before? Or is this something absolutely brand new? If it's something we've seen before, is it totally out of the box? Is it reimagining what's possible? I will tell you right now that the creativity judging criteria is usually the one that has the largest sway because it has the largest sway in the amount of judging. Almost everything else can be very high as long as your business plan is there. But if you're not thinking creatively, it can often bring your score down. So I highlight this one especially because this is a very important judging criteria that can make or break a 4th place to a 3rd place. Impact. How impactful will this be to the market you're going after? And is this feasible? Does this make sense? Example, if you've got an incredible idea on how to revolutionize passport control, but in order to do that, you need 5 nations to sign up as customers before you can do anything, it might be harder. Impact is where we take all of that into account. Scalability is scalability. This is San Francisco. I should not have to explain this one. Can you scale? Does it make sense to scale? How fast can you scale? Can this be included overnight, quickly? What is the goal from your scaling? Scale, scale, scale. I feel like it's just a coffee shop in San Francisco. You guys will be fine. Who are our judges? Oh, if you have not seen this judging panel, take a look. All of these folks are going to be seated actually right here where you guys are. So your chairs will be taken up by the judges tomorrow. Thank you for warming them. An incredible group of judges, Block.one executives, huge folks in the crypto space. Check these guys out. Do your research because they're going to ask hard questions tomorrow. These are going to be our round 2 judges. Round 1 will also have a variety of others, including mentors and Block.one staff. But these are the big ones. These are the folks who are going to be coming in to really focus and judge you on those big 4 criteria right here on the main stage. I don't know about you, but I really don't want Mike Novogratz asking me questions I'm not prepped for. Do your research, get ready, get prepped. It's an amazing panel. Come to the pitch workshop. We're going to talk about that later. Finally, I want to talk about the demos. We talked about this before, but I want to go over them again. The first round of demos will begin at 2 p.m. We're going to call you up by floor. There's going to be space here in the theater for a bunch of different areas. We're going to line you up over to the side. We're going to bring you in team by team. So he stays quiet in here. We want more of a one-on-one setting for your first round so the judges can hear you, okay? We're going to call you in by floor, and then Angel Hack representatives will walk you in. You'll have 3 minutes for your demo. You'll have 2 minutes for a Q&A from judges. If the judges stop asking you questions, you don't get to just keep talking for the 2 minutes. It is meant for the judges to ask questions and you to provide answers. Finally, the top 10 teams from round 1 will be chosen for the round 2 final pitches. With that, I have to pass this off very quickly to a good friend, and he's been to every hack. Ladies and gentlemen, the head of developer relations for Block.one, Serge!
Thank you. Thank you, Brian, and thank you so much all for coming. It's the 4th and the final hackathon in the EOS Global Hackathon series. We are extremely excited to see you all. We have really high expectations of the quality of the projects that will come out of this hackathon. We can't wait to see what you're going to build and who's going to be the team or the teams of the winners who will go to the Cape Town Grand Finale. During this presentation, I will really quickly cover some of the aspects of the technology that you will have to work with to be successful at the event and hopefully win one of the prizes. As a reminder, for those who are not as familiar with our technology, hopefully you all are, but EOSIO is a free open source blockchain software protocol that provides developers and entrepreneurs with the platform on which to build, deploy, and run decentralized, high-performing blockchain applications. It's been building upon some of the aspects of the features that we were expecting to deliver to the community from the promise of the blockchain technology in general, and focuses on the aspects like scalability, security, and user experience. But under the hood of EOSIO, as the name of the software package, there are actually a few tools that you will have to work with to be successful. First of all, it's Node.EOS. Node.EOS is the core of the EOSIO daemon, and running the Node.EOS, you actually create a blockchain node. A network of these blockchain nodes create a blockchain network. Kleos is the command line utility that you will interact with to interact with the blockchain and with Node.EOS. EOSIO-CPP is the part of the EOSIO contract development toolkit, which is a C++ to WebAssembly compiler that also generates ABI files for you that are public interfaces and what is happening inside the smart contract. And of course, EOSIO C++ SDK, which is a set of libraries that's been developed by Block.one developers to speed up and improve your development process for your smart contracts. So what it means to develop a smart contract on EOSIO. So first of all, as a smart contract developer, you will write C++ code. That C++ code is then fed into the EOSIO-CPP compiler that creates two files. One is the .wasm and the other one is .abi. .wasm is the compiled binary of the smart contract that is WebAssembly, and the other one is the ABI file, which is the publicly accessible and human-readable interface that exposes some of the functions as well as the data structures inside the smart contract. Then, as a developer, you take those files and you send them using the command line utility to Node.EOS. Node.EOS validates or pre-validates the smart contract, and if the validation goes well, then it's accessible for execution. So then, great, we have a smart contract in our chain or in our Node.EOS. Now we want to run it. So to run and interact with the smart contracts on EOSIO, you need to have an account. An account is a human-readable name that consists of a certain number of the characters that has a certain number of permissions associated with it. Think of it as a group of private keys with different security access associated with which one of them. When you interact with the smart contract, you need to send an action associated with the set of permissions and encrypt the action data with the permissions and then send it to Node.js using Kleos or directly via RPC API. Then the smart contract and Node.js does some validation. If successfully validated, then it's been executed, included in the block, and transmitted to the wider network. Great. Now we have a smart contract, but of course, for you to be successful at the event, you need to have a user-friendly interface that end users will be interacting with. So for web, we have a solution for you to work with. It's EOS.js, which is a generalized JavaScript library that allows you to interact with EOSIO-based blockchains. Using RPC API, it directly sends the data and reads from the blockchain as well. Just to sum up, in general, you will need a few different skill sets in your team to successfully build the application. On one side, you will need the smart contract developer who knows C++. We recommend version 14 that are familiar with EOSIO C++ API, EOSIO Kleos, and we also really highly suggest you to use Docker. On the JavaScript side, you would like to use JavaScript probably with Node.js in the backend if you choose so. You don't necessarily need to have a backend. You would use React.js as a front-end framework that we recommend and we use in-house at Block.one, and you obviously would have to use EOS.js. Our developers have created pre-compiled or pre-created boilerplates that will really drastically speed up your development process. Majority of you, we recommend to use standard boilerplate that is an example application that you can roll out in about probably 5 to 10 minutes, and you can run 2 commands, and you will have a blockchain running on your local computer, a single node application with the simple example of the front end and the smart contract already submitted to the blockchain, and a couple of demo accounts that you can interact with. You can start building your application from that example app. For those of you who know what DMux is, and some of our developers can help you, some of our mentors can help you to get onboarded with this technology, DMux is a special framework that's been developed by Block.one developers to cache the state of the database in the traditional database and then interact with it, which may speed up your development. But we highly recommend you to start with the standard boilerplate if you don't know how DMux works. In general, your development environment will be either Mac OS or Linux. These are the systems that we support, not necessarily Ubuntu, but we support a few Linux distributions. We really recommend you not to deploy your smart contracts to the test network, because this is the environment that is a little bit outside of your control, and we recommend you to build on the local node and local testnet. Because then if something happens to Wi-Fi or you run out of CPU on the public testnet, you still will be fine in your local environment. You don't need to add such things as resources, because it will overcomplexify the development of your idea during the hackathon. In general, you will also use your general development tools like Sublime Text or Atom or C-Line, whatever is your preferred tool. From the perspective of the recommended versions of the toolset, we recommend for this event to use EOSIO version 1.4.2, EOSIO CDT version 1.3.2, and EOS.js version 20 beta 2. They are already embedded in the boilerplates that we are providing you with, so you shouldn't have any troubles installing those. And just in general, from the perspective of resources that may be really helpful for you, of course, our GitHub, github.com/EOSIO, is the main GitHub repository where all of our projects are living. Developer portal, that is the source of the reference documentation as well as guides related to our software stack. We will provide you with some breakout sessions during from 12 to 3 p.m. I would really recommend you to come and check them out. Of course, mentors is your greatest asset during the event, and I really highly encourage you to get as much as you can out of them. And of course, Slack. In Slack, you have help desk group that you should send your questions if you have any, and please put the number of your table that you have with the question in the Slack group, so that the appropriate mentor will come and help you. And on this, I would like to pass it back to Brian to cover a couple of the logistical aspects of the event. And good luck, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. With that, folks, it's time to talk about a couple final things to know. Number one, we've been saying this since Hong Kong, and we really truly believe it. Hackathons are a competition, especially this one. There's big money on the table, but it's just as much about cooperation as it is competition. Most of the winning teams, those top 3 teams, in all of the other events, have actually ended up helping out other teams. If there's a tech issue that you think you can help solve that somebody else is having, obviously, if you can, help and jump in. We're all part of a greater EOS community here. The technology just came out earlier this year. Help and help out. And that's going to go a long way, I promise, in good karma, towards perhaps a $100,000 prize. If you have someone coming in for the spectator tickets, security, whom you've now all met, will not let them in until 4 p.m. tomorrow. So make sure that they know spectators do not get in until 4 p.m. tomorrow. Third, keep your personal keys safe. This is a blockchain hackathon, not a cryptocurrency hackathon. No member of the Angel Hack team, of the Block.one staff, the mentors, nobody officially involved with this event will ever ask you about your personal keys. If someone does, let us know. Finally, we are in an amazing space, both here in this tent. I mean, look at this tent. We are also in an amazing space across the way at the Village. How many people, first of all, really quickly, can we get a round of applause for the Village? This place is beautiful. Come on. Let's do us a favor. Help us respect the space that we're in. If your table starts to get filled up with trash, do us a favor, dump it in the trash. Help us out. We've got and are expecting over 400 of you, most likely closer to 450 of you. It's going to get busy. It's going to get packed. So do us a favor and help keep it clean. Finally, I just want to do a couple of final call-outs. Let's do Angel Hack staff. Where are you? Angel Hack is spread around the room. You're going to know us from the Angel Hack shirts. If you ever have any questions about the event, where to find food, where the restroom is, what time different things are at, any of that, go talk to them. Block.one staff, where are you at? They're going to be around, and you're going to know them from the Block.one shirts that they all have on. You can also go and ask them questions, but most important of all, we did it earlier, I want to do it again. Mentors, please stand up. Give it up for our mentors, folks. The vast, vast, vast majority of these mentors are actually community mentors. They're giving up their time and their weekend, some who aren't even from the area and have flown out to help you guys for this event. They are going to be your first line of defense on any questions that you guys have during the hack. So whether it's Angel Hack, whether it's Block.one, or whether it's mentors, they're going to help you out. But with that, there can be only one thing to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk through the challenge. Now, if you've been following the series, the challenge has been different in every event and has only been released the morning of. This particular challenge was held close by a group of only 3 people, a cabal, if you will, as they began putting it together. It was not even seen by me until not too long ago. So bear with me as I, too, read it off the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, blockchain technology has enabled a social movement showing potential to rewrite existing business models and governance and even shake up the status quo of the tech giants of today. Like EOS, these new blockchain-based business models can gain fundamental competitive advantage by aligning users, shareholders, and other stakeholders. So the official challenge is build an EOSIO application that fosters a fundamental competitive advantage by implementing a business model that aligns interests among stakeholders and/or drives more value to users. Ladies and gentlemen, pull your phones out and take a picture of this, because this is what you guys are going to be working on for the next 27 hours. San Francisco, are you excited?